Alrighty. It's Tuesday and welcome to Late Night Snacks. And as you may know, tomorrow is going to be, we're going to get a snowstorm tomorrow. And it's something that I'm not looking forward to because having snow is one of the reasons why I hate winter. And I'm really looking forward to, hearing a little hiccup lately. Oh, man. But like I said, I'm not looking forward to winter. Not looking forward to tomorrow because it's one of the reasons why I hate winter. But we have to have winter. And spring is coming. It's only January, but spring doesn't come until March. So I have plenty of time until springtime starts. All right, and before you know it, winter will be over and spring will finally be here. Just give me 1 second. Sorry about that. I was watching the Carol Burnett show. And before we start with tonight's main topic, did you all know this? That one night I actually dreamed of when I was an elderly man in my mid 60s, and I was. Did you know? One night I had a dream where I was an elderly man in my mid to late 60s, and I was with my grandchildren, telling them that I survived a pandemic in 2020 and 2021. And they even said, "Wow, Grandpa, you went through the COVID-19 pandemic, and we're all so proud of you." And the grandpa in the dream was me, as a 65, as a man that's in his mid 60s, and I was lying in my bed because usually senior citizens lie down in their beds a lot, and before you know, and then you know something, on the TV of what I was watching in my dream, when I dreamed of being a 65-year-old man telling my grandchildren that I survived the COVID-19, a deadly pandemic in 2020, and you're all not going to believe what I was watching. Can you take a guess? The Carol Burnett show. And when I was asleep, when I was drifting off to sleep, I could even hear the Carol Burnett show theme song playing in my dream when I was sleeping. And that was when I was dreaming of being an elderly man in my mid 60s, watching the Carol Burnett show. When I was lying in my bed telling my grandkids that I survived a deadly pandemic in 2020 and 2021. Did you all know that? Well, even though I'm still young, I'm still in my early 30s. I'm going to be in my mid 30s in November, this coming November. So, and I'm still young. I still got this, and I'm going to be a young man for years still going to be a young man in the coming years. Okay, so let's get to tonight's main topic. As you may know, last night I was watching the 30th anniversary of Monday Night Raw, which they call Raw is 30, and they have all the legends that made their appearances, like the Nature Boy Ric Flair, and also D-Generation X, The Undertaker in his American Badass gimmick, which he used from 2000 until 2003. And there's also Diamond Dallas Page, and also let's see, let's see what other. Oh, and there's also Kurt Angle, who made an appearance with DX. Let's see, and there's also and there's also and there's also Hulk Hogan and his manager Jimmy Hart. Yeah, it was really cool seeing all the legends that appeared on Monday Night Raw. But it's a shame. I don't remember if Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock were in last night's 30th anniversary of Monday Night Raw, because they were there during the Attitude Era. They were the top stars of the Attitude Era. So tonight's main topic on Late Night Snacks, show number 16, I'm going to be talking about my favorite moments of the 30-year history of WWE Monday Night Raw. Because the first time I watched, like I said in last night's episode, I talked about the first time when I was watching professional wrestling was when I was 9 years old. I just turned 9 years old the year I started to watch professional wrestling. Back when Monday Night Raw was known as Raw is War. And that was during the Monday Night Wars between Raw and between WWE. Oh, then it was called WWF. Raw, when it was known as Raw is War, and WCW Monday Nitro. And that was the year before WCW started becoming a dying promotion. And that was when WWE, back then when it was known as WWF, was winning the Monday Night Wars. I'm going to talk about my favorite moments on WWE Raw's 30-year history. And first and foremost, I'm going to be talking about the corporation and turned face after. I think that was after WrestleMania 15, and that was when The Rock turned face after he was kicked out of the corporation and became one of the top stars of the WWE back then. And then they had Mankind, Mick Foley, delivering a This Is Your Life segment to The Rock. And it's one of my favorite moments in WWE history. Did you all know? In the history of Monday Night Raw. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about, this was before the Attitude Era started, and that was during the first days of Monday Night Raw, during the early days of it. Did you all know this? That another one of my favorite moments on WWE's Monday Night Raw history is when they had the match between Razor Ramon and the 1-2-3 Kid, back when he was known as the Kid, and that was before he became X-Pac, who became a member of D-Generation X and the NWO, and they had the match between Razor Ramon and the Kid, who later became the 1-2-3 Kid after he beat Razor Ramon, and that's one of my other favorite matches on Monday Night Raw history, is when they had the 1-2-3 Kid. He delivered an upset victory to Razor Ramon, and that was when they started a feud for a couple years between. That was during the end of the Hulkamania's run in WWE, before he jumped ship to WCW with his manager Jimmy Hart a year later, after losing the championship to Yokozuna in the first ever King of the Ring pay-per-view event. And that was when, and also in that moment, one of my favorite moments of Monday Night Raw history is the Kid becoming the 1-2-3 Kid after beating Razor Ramon. Did you all know that? And also, and there's also that one moment on Monday Night. I have one. I'm going to talk about more of my favorite moments of Monday Night Raw. Like, for example, I gotta take a breath for a minute and think about, let's see. 2011, the year when I graduated from high school. And that was the year when The Rock returned to WWE for the first time since 2004. when he made an appearance on the Raw Diva Search, where they had to find the next WWE Diva. That was back when the female wrestlers were known as divas back then. And they had and that was the night when The Rock returned to WWE for the first time since 2004. The same year when He Who Must Not Be Named won the Royal Rumble and was the World Heavyweight Champion back then. So, and yes, I'm talking about, and when I'm mentioning He Who Must Not Be Named, no, I'm talking about, not talking about Voldemort, who was Harry Potter's nemesis. Yeah, I'm talking about Chris Benoit. You know, since Chris Benoit murdered his family and before taking his own life, WWE had permanently erased Chris Benoit from their history. Ever since the whole incident back in 2007, that was the year when, with the Benoit, because when Chris Benoit murdered his family and then committed suicide, and then because of this situation, WWE permanently erased Chris Benoit from their history. Shocking. The man that won the 2004 Royal Rumble and became the second WWE superstar to win the Royal Rumble in history. Anyone entered at number 1. The first superstar to do so was Shawn Michaels back in 1995. So, and I think there was another moment on Monday Night Raw where Stone Cold Steve Austin attacked Vince McMahon in the hospital. And I remember that. And that was after when I think that was before I started to watch wrestling, back when Stone Cold Steve Austin attacked Vince McMahon in the hospital. And you know, the Attitude Era was the best era of Monday Night Raw. And also there was that time where D-Generation X invaded WCW Monday Nitro, where they used like an army tank to invade Monday Nitro. That was when they were going to go into the height of the Monday Night Wars between WWE Raw, when it was known as Raw's War, because they had to name it Raw's War because of the Monday Night Wars with Monday Nitro, and also WCW Monday Nitro. I remember. So, oh man, yeah, it's on. And also, let's see, I'm trying to think another, and also, then we go to 2005. Another one of my favorite moments on Monday Night Raw's 30-year history was when they had the contract signing between Triple H and Batista, who is an actor now, just like The Rock is. And then Batista had a choice to battle the WWE champion John Bradshaw Layfield, or JBL, on SmackDown, or Triple H on Raw for the World Heavyweight Championship. And then Batista picked Raw to battle Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 21. And then he delivered a Batista bomb to Triple H back then. Well, he quit Evolution to decide to battle Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship, which he brought to SmackDown with him. I mean, when he was drafted. So, and I was in high school back then when Evolution was falling apart. Because, you know, back then, WWE Raw was still airing on Spike TV. Well, it was from 2000 until late 2000 until late 2005, when it moved back to the USA Network back in late 2005. So, and also, let's see, I'm trying to think. Oh, and I remember they also had, when Daniel Bryan, who is now in AEW as Bryan Danielson, when he had the Yes Movement to occupy Raw, because that year in 2014, Batista won the Royal Rumble to face Randy Orton for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 30. That same year when Brock Lesnar ended The Undertaker's undefeated streak. and we're going to get to Brock Lesnar's return in just a sec. So, okay, so, and they had Daniel Bryan's yes movement to occupying Monday Night Raw because he demanded Triple H to get him a title shot at WrestleMania against Randy Orton, and if and they had to, and by all means necessary, they had Triple H accepted it because under one condition back then, because if Daniel Bryan beat Triple H in a singles match, he would enter the title match at WrestleMania 30 with Randy Orton and Randy Orton and Batista. So, oh man. Okay, next, another one of my favorite moments on Monday Night Raw is Brock Lesnar's 2012 return for the first time since 2004. Again, the same year, he who must not be named won the Royal Rumble and won the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 20. That was the year when he who must not be named, I'm talking about Chris Benoit, winning the Royal Rumble. And I'm not talking about Voldemort. You know, Harry Potter's arch nemesis, Lord Voldemort. Oh, I shouldn't say his name. Yeah, that was the year he who must not be named won the Rumble match that year. So, and because of the 2007 incident, WWE permanently erased Chris Benoit from their history because of it. So, and because of this, WWE will never induct Chris Benoit in the Hall of Fame ever, not after what he did. So, and also, and I remember when Brock Lesnar returned to WWE for the first time since 2004, when he lost to Goldberg at WrestleMania 20. He actually delivered an F5 to John Cena. And now we're going to talk about my all-time favorite moment on Monday Night Raw before we switch to other topics. Is after WrestleMania 19, when they had the Raw after WrestleMania 19, Goldberg made his WWE debut and speared The Rock. That was my all-time favorite moment on Monday Night Raw, is when Goldberg speared The Rock. Did you all know that? So that's all the favorite moments on Monday Night Raw I can think of for now, during its 30-year history, that is. So let me see what time is it before I switch to the next topic, which will be tomorrow's weather. So I got time, because we're going to talk about tomorrow's weather right now. So, as you may know, we're supposed to get some snow tomorrow, and trust me, I am not looking forward to the weather tomorrow, because did you all know one time, that was before we had the COVID pandemic with us. It was snowing, and then I saw the lights flickering one time, and then the electricity went out. That was before the COVID pandemic started, and you know something, I lost my sanity back then, because it was not a good snowstorm. A lot of people had no power back then. It was tough that we had no electricity, and he gets how many hours? For over 24 hours. It was crazy. And then we had to pile some extra blankets back then when we had no electricity for over 24. It was back in December 2019, back when it just started. That was before the COVID pandemic started, and back when people started to stay home because of the pandemic. So, it was tough. And I kind of went crazy for a little bit when we had no when I woke up still not having electricity with us. It was tough. And and that year when I was supposed to look forward to spring that year after Christmas, but guess what we had that year? COVID. and I was supposed to look forward to spring after Christmas that in 2019 and early 20 and January, February 2020, but then we ended up having the COVID pandemic with us. It was tough, and people had to start staying home, practicing their social distancing and wearing their masks in public, especially in front of others, and we could not give out handshakes or hugs to others. It sucked. It really fucking sucked. Because it was like a winter that never turned to spring. And we're supposed to get snow tomorrow morning. And I think it's going to go into the afternoon before it starts clearing up. And let me tell you something. I am really, really looking forward to spring tomorrow. I mean, in March. Not tomorrow, because I'm really looking. I just got a little mixed up because I'm exhausted. I still have to do tonight's show. It's almost bedtime, so it's been tough. It really has been tough. And winter is not my favorite. One second. Winter is not my favorite season at all. But we still have the rest of January to get to, and then we have February, and then before you know it, it will be March. And before you know it, spring is around when we get to March, spring is right around the corner. Before you know it, there'll be no snow on the ground. It'll be nice out. I get to go outside more often. Baseball season will be starting around that time. Let's go Yankees, and fuck the Houston Astros, because they screwed the Yankees in 2022 and won the World Series. They got away with it. Just like in 2017, they fucking got away with it. But in 2019, they got what they deserve in 2019 when they got beat by the Washington Nationals in the 2019 World Series. But in 2022, just like in 2017, they got away with it. They not only beat the Yankees, they badly swept the New York Yankees and won the World Series against the Philadelphia Phillies in Game 6 of the World Series. I still have no comments for the Houston Astros. Nothing to say to them, because I still think the Houston Astros cheated. I still think they cheated. Okay, but like I said about springtime, because spring is around the corner. We'll be outside more often. The sun will be out a lot. There'll be no snow on the ground. There'll be birds singing, and baseball season will be here. And you never know, and you never know. Baseball, and you all know something. By then, it'll be baseball season. As you know, springtime is the start of baseball season. But sadly, I want to tell you something. Springtime is also a sad time for me. And so, other than the COVID pandemic in 2020, I want to tell you all something. That springtime can be a sad time for me. Because in 2018, I lost my dad in the springtime. Well, I lost my dad in May in 2018. And I lost my mom last year in April. But it was during the springtime. As you know, like I said, springtime can be bittersweet. It can be, because after months of being cooped up inside because of snow and ice and cold weather, and also with illnesses spreading, and back in December I tested positive for COVID. It was not fun. And before you know it, spring will be here. It will be. So, sorry about that. I just had to let it out. So, yeah, it happens to the best of all of us. Oh man. But like I said, spring is around the corner, and before you know it, It'll be nice out. It'll be baseball season again. Because I like baseball, but I'm still not happy with the Astros as of late. But I'm still not happy with the Houston Astros when they screwed the Yankees once again, like they did in 2017 and 2019. And in the World Series, they won the World Series, and just like in 2017, they got away with it. Just like in 2017, they managed to get away with it. And and you know what? I do think the Houston Astros cheated. I do think they cheated. They did not play fair in 2017. And in the last year's World Series, I still think they cheated. Yep, I still think the Houston Astros cheated. But about springtime, it's coming. Because, I'm not looking forward to tomorrow because we're supposed to get snow tomorrow. And I was supposed to go to the food pantry tomorrow, but guess what? Snow canceled it. So I'm going to be stuck inside tomorrow. But the good news is I have no program tomorrow because, I'm tired of going to that program every day. I'm just sick and fucking tired of going to that day program every fucking day. Just give me 1 second. Every fucking day. I'm just sick and tired of that program because that program is just too much for me. It's over at the program that I go to over at Stanhope. It's just too fucking much for me. And my case manager came into my group home today and we talked about things to shake up my life. Like, for example, moving into my own house in Vernon. Because Vernon is still my home and always has been, because Vernon has a lot of cool stuff like Mountain Creek and everything. So, oh man, I'm getting tired, but I'm gonna have to call it quits soon because it's almost bedtime. And I gotta get ready to go to bed, despite the fact that I have no program tomorrow. Well, that's the good news, but the bad news is I don't have church tomorrow. I don't have the pantry tomorrow. And I might have to talk about going over to the food pantry on Friday. I think that might make me feel better if I talk about going to the food pantry on Friday. So, that was the day I originally volunteered at the food pantry before COVID shut everything down and kept so many people indoors. So, I'm just not looking forward to tomorrow because of snow. But I think it's supposed to stop in the afternoon, but I'm not sure though. I have to Google the weather to see what time the snow will stop. Because we're going to be stuck inside tomorrow. It's not fun. But I'm going to do a great job managing my coping skills. And that's what I'm going to do. Hold on. Because I'm going to do it just nail broke off. It happens all the time. So okay, so I just had to fix something but like I said, I'm doing a great job trying to manage my coping skills, and that's what I have been doing ever since my dad passed away back in 2018. Actually, correction, all my life. And I have been managing my coping skills probably all my life. So, and because the best thing to do if I'm stuck inside during a snowstorm is to get through my coping skills. Because I know the weather, and just like when I was tested positive for COVID last month, I had to go through my coping skills too. It was not fun, but guess what? The best part of all is I recovered from testing positive for COVID. That's the best Christmas gift I got for last month. Because I tested positive before Christmas came. So it sucked. But the best part of all is I fucking made it through. So, Alan Hale, yeah, he used to be the skipper on Gilligan's Island because they're showing a promo on MeTV of Alan Hale, aka the skipper on Gilligan's Island, guest starring on Green Acres. And did you all know something? I see signs when I go to the park and such. When I go to the park a couple times, I see signs that say Green Acres, which is actually the same name of the show from the 1960s. Did you all know that? Which airs on MeTV. I think it used to air on MeTV. Still does, because nowadays the Beverly Hillbillies airs on MeTV, taking the same time slot. Taking Gomer Pyle's time slot, because Gomer Pyle used to air on MeTV at 9 o'clock on weeknights. Golly. But like I said, Gomer Pyle no longer airs on MeTV for now, but it will come back sooner than you think. But the Andy Griffith Show still airs on MeTV nowadays. And the Beverly Hillbillies now takes Gomer Pyle's time slot. Did you all know that? Well, I hate to say this, but it's time for me to sign off for the night because I'm getting tired. It's almost bedtime. So, well, stay warm, everyone, because tomorrow we're supposed to get snow. And I am not looking forward to tomorrow. So, and tomorrow I'm gonna be talking about the aftermath of the snowstorm we had. So, well, good night, everyone. We'll see you all tomorrow for show number 17 of Late Night Snacks. See you all next time.